just for context, I'm actually filming this video just a couple hours after TSM's loss in the group stage at Worlds 2017. I'm in Wuhan, China, and if you, like me, are feeling very surprised and confused, you are not alone. It is a very, very confusing thing. A lot of people who follow me know kind of the satire that I like to play up the NA fan who believes that the impossible is something that could happen, right? Like TSM could win Worlds, or NA is going to dominate, or anything like that. And a lot of people get confused when I do that and think that that's actually how I feel, but I understand the realities of North America's plight. We have not been successful on the international stage, and that this is something that occurs not just in League of Legends, but in other esports as well. And it has been something that has been, frustrating over the years to watch. But in the past, it did feel like there was always some sort of out, right? Like either our players are just not that good this year, or we weren't able to create like the super team that we needed, or we just couldn't get the right lineup, or some weird thing happens, right? Like every one of these dreams always ends up being crushed, but there's some sort of excuse. And that's why last year was really hard for me, because it felt like there were just not that many great ways to explain North America's loss. Certainly C9 made it to quarterfinals, but especially with TSM, who was the first seed last year and everybody really believed in, it was very hard to justify how they just dropped out of groups and the team did not look very good. I guess the only thing you could say is that afterwards I talked to Doublelift and he said that he felt very distracted towards the end of, whenever Worlds rolled around, and it did feel like, okay, this is this year's first Worlds, or the first Worlds for this lineup. This is the first time they've been here. And that's why this year at Worlds I had a lot of faith in TSM. In fact, not just me, but a lot of the analysts I talked to, obviously know that TSM was busted out. A lot of people like to say, oh, of course we knew NA would fail, Immortals failed, TSM failed. Good chance C9 makes it out of groups, but good chance they also lose pretty quickly in quarterfinals. And everybody likes to say that stuff now. But I'll tell you that when I got to China, I had analysts trying to convince me that TSM had a great chance at semifinals, and that there was a great chance that all the NA teams were going to make it out of groups this year, and that this would be NA's year. And of course, the first week went the way it always does, and then the second week went the way it always does. And again, we'll see how tomorrow goes with Cloud9, but it's hard to bet too much on the third seed from NA and really making it deep into the tournament beyond quarterfinals. So here we are now, and I just find myself at a loss, because I do feel as though NA has done so much to try to improve. We looked more competitive. The infrastructure we've been putting into place has been great. Rift Rivals showed that we could beat our European counterparts. TSM looked weak at MSI, but of course they replaced their AD carry. Doublelift came back and they looked strong. And everything was going TSM's way. And that is why it is so confusing, so hard for me to understand why the team just seemed to fall apart again during the second week. I usually try to have an answer or some sort of explanation at the end of the vlogs or videos. I don't like to do these pointless videos. Here I have no answer for anybody. I really am just doing this to tell you that if you're confused and don't understand what happened, you're not alone. I think there are a lot of people that are just confused as to why NA keeps falling apart, and I don't know how it's going to change, and I don't know what's going to happen. Like, for Riot even, do you just continue to try to build the hype around Worlds and try to convince everybody that North America is got another chance this year? Or if you are Riot and you're looking at the NALCS, do you just start trying to put all the emphasis on the spring split and summer split finals, because that's really the only chance NA has for the foreseeable future? I don't know. The only thing I do know, and one thing I wanted to express at the end of this video, is that I don't have much insight into Immortals. I have a little bit more, but still not as much into C9. But with TSM, I do have some insight through Doublelift and being relatively close to team this year, and I will tell you, these guys pretty much did everything they could. I heard no rumors of them hanging out with girlfriends. Everybody seemed to sacrifice a lot. Bjergsen and Doublelift, again for another year, sacrifice streaming and cash for the chance to win. These guys pretty much did everything they could to try to win, and that's one of the reasons why I feel so bad right now. It's easy to get frustrated and excuse NA teams when they just like fuck around and do whatever, but when I am aware that the first seed did pretty much everything they could to succeed, had pretty much no excuses, and put it all on the line, it just feels very gut-wrenching. So I don't know what the future is. It is certainly a trying time. Again, if you are feeling bummed out and confused, you're not alone. Hopefully next year brings something, I don't know, maybe franchising or whatever. But it doesn't feel good for NA right now, and I don't know what's going to change that. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully Cloud9 can change everything and surprise everybody by making it deep into Worlds, I don't know. But I'll be here, at least through semifinals.